Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football. And Real Madrid are in a turmoil. Everything is going wrong for them. Tchouameni and Fabian Valverde currently just had a big fight in the training session, and Valverde ended up going to the hospital, according to various news outlets. And it's not looking good for them. That club is in a huge turmoil. This is a continuation of the fight that they had a couple of days ago. And today, when they came back, there was an offer from Germany to to shake hands, and Valverde refused that. He refused to shake Germany's hand, and that escalated the fight, and it got even uglier and uglier, and other teammates had to come in. But at the end of all of it, Valverde has been taken to the hospital, and he needs a medical treatment. And a serious meeting has been called between the players. This is really getting embarrassing for Real Madrid. You had reports that Alves Carreras and a member of Arbeola's squad has Arbeola's staff are not on speaking terms. They are not really interacting with each other. There is big tension between them. There was news about Rudiger and Arbiola not having a good relationship as well. And the worst of all, this you would think that uh, uh, two players fighting against each other, and physical violence being a situation in a Real Madrid, in a team's dressing room, and one player being taken to the hospital, would end up being the biggest problem. It is not the biggest embarrassment at the moment. Is that a Kylian Mbappe petition that is being assigned currently 32 million signatures on that petition for Real Madrid to leave for Kylian Mbappe to leave Real Madrid. And I mean, it is diabolical what's happening at Real Madrid at the moment. You cannot really believe, if I'm being very honest with you, that it's happening. That this is happening at Real Madrid, and then you have this picture of Kylian Mbappe leaving the training station, laughing like basically a maniac, and laughing at the situation. I mean, where do Real Madrid go from there? The way that they have played this season, it has not really worked out. There were issues between Vini and Mbappe. It seems like they have sold. I really don't believe that. Different players are posting different pictures. Jude Bellingham posting about certain players within a group and calling some players brothers. So it is, everything. It looks like a catastrophe at a Real Madrid. And again, the question is, where do we go from here? If you're a Real Madrid fan, what are you thinking? Everybody, for us, as neutrals, you look at this and you basically can laugh, or you can just look at it, and you can just look at it in shock that this is happening at probably one of the biggest clubs in world football. And this is the scenario. There was a reason that Xabi Alonso was sacked. I said it when they sacked Xabi Alonso, that it was a wrong thing to do. The player power at Real Madrid, it's clearly, it feels like there are two groups in Real Madrid, and one of them has to go through has to leave for Real Madrid to be a successful. They are looking for a new manager. Arbiola was never a long-term solution. No matter what he did, he is not really able to contain all of this. You may imagine being in that locker room right now. Imagine being a young player, a player like Aguilar, and you're looking at all of this happening, and your main striker is doing stuff like this. Kylian Mbappe going out and laughing at your teammates, fighting it out, and the manager is not able to contain any of them. He's not able to control any of them. So many different players fighting amongst each other. It is a bizarre situation. It is embarrassing for the club. It would have been embarrassing for a small club, for a club like no offense, but for a club like Oviedo, or for a club like Cremonese in Syria, or a club like Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League. But for Real Madrid to be in this situation, to have players literally fighting each other, sending each other to the hospitals, yeah, and the players not talking to each other, you have players not talking to the manager. It is literally, you cannot believe this is what's happening. And the meeting is gonna come in. We don't know what's gonna happen in a Florentino Perez. I think he knows he has messed up. He literally has this one person, the dictator, if we would call him. He wanted to bring Kylian Mbappe. I was one of those people. I said that bringing Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid is going to be a big a mistake from Real Madrid. And but the problem with Perez is once he decides to do something, and once he takes something on his ego, he makes sure that that thing is completed. And his ego was hurt when the first year Real Madrid was not able to bring Kylian Mbappe. So just to satisfy his ego, he has brought Kylian Mbappe. And since Kylian Mbappe has come in, you have watched Real Madrid. They keep on getting worse and worse and worse every single season. And this season as well, they have not really performed, to the level that you would expect on the pitch. And off the pitch, it has been a complete disaster. I'm still baffled. Every single day, within a week, you have heard like stories of three different players fighting against each other. And now today, well, what they're going to the hospital, this is going to be a big problem now. Well, what they literally, can take legal action against Tchouameni and whatnot. How these two are going to play with each other as teammates, how Real Madrid react. They have not really officially released a statement, but everybody knows about this. Everybody's talking about this, and how they come back from this, that is gonna be a big thing. And again, I'll be and they are looking for a big manager. They want to bring in a big manager, and every manager is gonna be looking at this. I'm like, I don't want to be part of this shit show. I don't want to go there and I deal with these immature babies. I don't want to be the one just get abused because these players are not going to do their job. Because that is why I think he wants to bring in a person like Jose Mourinho. And Jose Mourinho, if he comes in, that's the big rumor that Mourinho really wants to come in, but he wants full authority. And that is going to be a big problem yet again. I personally felt, when Mourinho's rumors were coming that next season was going to be a roller coaster for Real Madrid. It has already started, but maybe with what all of this is happening, they need a manager like Mourinho who's going to come in, who's going to make the roles. And but the thing is, again, will Perez allow that? Because Mourinho, he's not going to take shit from Mbappe, he's not going to take shit from Mini, he's not going to take shit from anybody. So if he comes in, maybe Real Madrid can be safe, if I'm being honest with, because right now Arriola was never that guy. Forget about football, footballing wise, because I think even then he's not up to the mark to manage Real Madrid. But as a manager, as to to control that Real Madrid dressing room, you need somebody who can really go toe to toe with them, who can be as blunt, who can be as much of a prick as these players. And he was never a prick in his playing days, and he's not going to be like that while being a manager. You need somebody of a stature like Jose Mourinho. Carlo Ancelotti, there was a reason that you did not hear a peep when Ancelotti was there. There were a bit of ruffles, but since that full season when he was there, you did not hear anything. The moment he goes, you start hearing about all of this stuff. This full year has been, from the start of the season, it has been a shit show at Real Madrid, and they need some structure. They need somebody strong to come in and control these guys. But as I said, it is going on right now. That there is going to be a meeting later on. We might hear more things about the stuff that is going to happen. But again, I'm still baffled about the fights and all the backroom drama that's happening at Real Madrid. It is simply unbelievable. And if you're a Real Madrid fan, you're just sitting there and in shock, and then what they're like, what the hell is happening? And if that, again, that I there are so many things that are happening, the fight and all of that. And then you have the Kylian Mbappe situation against 32 million before I started the video, and those signatures are going on. It is like they've passed the Guinness World Record as well. It is the single most human signed a petition ever in the history of mankind, that they want Kylian Mbappe to leave Real Madrid. I mean, it is simply baffling, to be very honest with you. That's for me in this video. Let me know what you guys think of the entire situation. Who do you think is at fault here, and do you think that petition is going to work out? Do you really think Paris is going to look at that petition? It's going to decide that Madrid, Mbappe needs to leave Madrid, and who you think is going to be the new manager of Real Madrid? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.